All right, guys, new video here from Unique Entertainment. Brendan Schaub goes off on podcast cringe and the new lawsuit he's facing. Let's see what we got.
You guys are this is Cuban Dave. I wonder if he's Cuban. He better be. You guys are my top 3 podcasts, by the way. Thank you, dude. How do you deal with all the hate in the YouTube comments? Do you do the Rogan method and just not read it? I find myself going 12 rounds with the haters, but I know it's the same people every week talking trash. At least they add to the engagement. Remember, you never meet a hater that's doing better than you. Correct. Love you guys. Oh, by the way, it's Ed Gein. Pronounced Ed Gein. Think green without the R and not the gain. I know, I mispronounced his name. People were like, what the fuck? And this guy goes, I drop in on the podcast cringe regularly to remind those douchebags there are grown men crying about grown men. Yeah.
I hate that sentiment. I hate the idea that Brendan Schaub is going in here and he actually believes that these people aren't still trolling him. It's multiple layers, folks. They're getting creative. All right, you want to find a creative troll group, I guess, on Reddit? It's going to be The Fighter and the Kid. All right? They've done some very interesting things. And here we are watching them comment to Brendan Schaub, pretend to want his advice, and he just eats it up. He thinks this is legit. All right? I mean, also, how are people saying, how do people mispronounce stuff like Ed Gein? Like, this is something that you've heard people say hundreds of times, and you still get it wrong. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I've watched videos on YouTube here where people have said, they'll be talking about Tucson, Arizona, and they'll say Tuscan. What are we doing? Let's hear some more.
Yeah, it's just the way of the world. You know, in all honesty, I assume everyone on the YouTube side is doing their job with the thumbnails and the clips and all.
Okay, wait, so he's saying right now that he's paying people to make his thumbnails and his clips and all this shit. Why, dude? Don't you have a producer? Isn't that what his job is? Shouldn't he also be doing that? Why are you paying someone else to make a thumbnail when you got another guy who's editing and recording the episode? It doesn't make sense to me. You're giving money away at this point.
And all that shit in the titles and descriptions, and it's going well. I don't look at anything YouTube. So especially comments, because I know it's the worst.
He's saying he doesn't look at comments, but as soon as the episode opened, that guy said something about the Ed Gein thing, and Brendan said, yeah, people were saying that I said his name wrong. What people, Brendan? Your comments, you mean?
Worst of the worst, whether you're me, whoever the fuck you are. I'm sure Rogans are bad, Berts are bad. What value would there be in that, you know? And then, again, if it's the same guys, it's like, really, they're fans. What else are they going to do? Imagine if I decide to just stop everything. They'd be so hurt. Again, it became this trendy thing to do, and those guys, I'd be willing to bet, aren't crushing live. So this is...
Well, here's the thing, too, is I believe that those comments, yeah, those guys aren't really doing anything more significant than simply saying a thing and hoping that it triggers some sort of response. And in most cases, it will. Stuff like this. Like Brendan bringing it up. Like one question that doesn't really have anything to do with said subject will lead him down this path regardless. It'll lead to him talking about, you know, these people that make content about him, these reaction channels, these comments, these Reddit pages, whatever. It's all gonna open up a basket of worms. Is that a saying? Either way, it's gonna open up a basket of bullshit because it's always in the back of his mind. Because yeah, he says he doesn't see it, says he doesn't hear it. Then how do you know it exists? How do you know people hate you at all?
This gives them something to do. It gives them meaning. If that's hating on me, fire away. You know, what else are they gonna do? Think about taking time every day to do that. It's like, yeah, buddy, this is part of the problem. Go out, touch grass, go create something, man. Create it.
Wait, does Brendan think that he's touching grass because he goes from one facility to the next facility? He goes from one podcast to the next podcast, to his house, to the gym, and that's it. Where's the touching grass? You just going out in your backyard, sitting in the backyard, putting your face in the mud? I doubt it.
great income. Do something, dude. Find a girl, dude. This ain't it. But there's no helping guys like that. So imagine being the same guy in every episode.
Well, there's no helping guys like that have the ability and willingness to stand on their opinions so wholeheartedly that they'll actually comment it or start a YouTube channel in relation to it. Now, yes, there's nothing more cringe than only talking about Brendan Schaub. It's annoying. But I can understand it. Right? It's no different than talking about music. Okay? The only thing is people are so wrapped up in this idea that we're not allowed to sit here and critique comedy because people weren't doing that, 25 years ago. They might have wrote articles about somebody's set or somebody's special, but there weren't people that were like, there's movie critics. Famous movie critics. There's people that had television shows where they reviewed movies. There's TV shows where musicians talk about music, review music. Nobody did that for comedy. This is a new thing. And it surprises people that it's new things will always surprise people, okay? Especially when they have success, like Too Lazy to Try, Red Bar, all these guys, that Elephant Graveyard. They became successful by talking about comedy. Okay? Yeah, they might have started out as those weirdos in your comments just talking shit, but they weren't afraid to go and stand on it. And that's the thing that is bothersome about the comments, is everybody wants to talk shit and have an opinion and feel entitled, but you don't stand on your opinion. All you do is you leave a comment hoping to get a reaction and then move on with your day. So again, do you believe in what you're saying? Fuck no. You're just saying these things to try to get into a friend group that never wanted you in the first place. Okay? You don't really believe the things you're saying. You're simply saying it because you think, well, that guy also said it, he'll like me then. That's not the case, dude. It's not the case. I see so many comments on so many people's things, good and bad, and a lot of times there are people defending these people in the comments, saying, oh, you're wrong about Brendan, you're wrong about Bert Kreischer and Tony Hinchcliffe. But it's like, it's an opinion, guy. It's an opinion. I can be wrong. They can be wrong. But I'm still allowed to have the opinion. This is how I feel about it.
Writing hate? Like, that's your gig? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I always try to understand what are they trying to make money? Because you can't hate someone that much to just constantly be like, everything that someone does, they're just like.
Well, here's the thing. You can. You can. People hate watch now. That's a new term. But trash TV is not a new term. People have been watching garbage stuff on television for years. And podcasting and comedy has gotten no different. There are people out here claiming to be comedians, claiming to be podcasters, claiming to be entertainers, claiming to have a reason to say anything, and some of you just aren't. And a lot of those people are in the comments. I get that. I get those same type of comments too. I get people that just have nothing going on and also don't really stand on anything. I'll also get people that are just angry, just mad at the world, dude, and they want to take it out on your little video that you react to, right? It's sad, it's pathetic, but again, something to do, right? It is something to do. You don't get anything out of it. There's nothing to gain. But if somebody really has that opinion and believes and stands on that opinion and wants to share that opinion to possibly create a group, start a community of people that are like-minded, they might create a channel, okay? They might put out clips, okay? That's what a lot of these guys are doing. Podcast Cringe, Comedy Podcast Roast, Lion Meows, all these guys, similar to my content, is we're over-analyzing. Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, nobody else was doing this until these guys came along, until Red Bar started shitting on all these comedians. Because in our heads, when we were younger, a comedian was somebody that you thought could take a joke. And yeah, some of the jokes are super cruel in the comments, right? They're really rude. Where it's to the point where you're like, I don't know if this is a joke. But if it is, you're also, regardless, at the end of the day, you are still a comedian, right? Some of these motherfuckers claim to be professional comedians. And yet, you can't handle that. You don't know how to respond to that. It's odd.
Like, oh, check this out. Oh, they did this. Today they did that. Oh, like, is it money? Because it can't just be straight up just hate. Especially if they don't actually know you or us or anything.
Also, how do you know that exists? I said this in previous videos, man. They're watching the stuff. They're watching Red Bar. They're watching Podcast Cringe. Somebody's sending them clips. Or they're looking into it themselves. Because as I've said before, the ego, the narcissism that these comedians have, they need validation by the hour. Okay? And that means looking into how people feel about them. Hey, what did Red Bar say this week? Was I mentioned? Did I do anything strange that he's going to talk about? Did I take a full sip? Okay? What did Podcast Cringe say about my wardrobe? Right? American Redux going off on Andrew Schultz. Okay? We're curious. So they might not even be watching their own stuff. But again, most of these comedians are taking strays in every video. I haven't made an actual written script video where I didn't mention Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe, even if it's not about Tony or Joe. They're going to take strays. Theo's taking strays from me. Sam Tallent's taking some strays. It just happens. It just happens. But at the same time, these guys are the ones that are claiming to be professional comedians, but somehow somebody saying some shitty comment just puts them in their feelings. Now they're clinically depressed for 4 months.
You know? They don't know us personally.
No, I know. I don't know. Mental illness, you know, no, they're not making money hating, you know, like the guys that make reaction videos do, which I get and get yours, you know, but because that's the algorithm, you know, they do it for all shows. But to just add comments, I don't know. You know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But appreciate you guys sticking up for us.
I mean, of course, I've never liked a channel that only covers Brendan Schaub, and that's fine. Some people just, that's their shtick, and they're not going to change it. And again, I'm probably going to watch it. Brendan's probably going to watch it. Brendan's friends are going to watch it and have a little laugh, but you should move on, dude. Like, how affected are you? Like, on the day-to-day, this is how this man is staring at his phone. He's looking at his phone just like, why? Why? I don't, you know? It's absurd. It's absurd. Because you shouldn't care that much. You really shouldn't. If this is what you believe about these people, then why do you care so much? I used to be there, man. Trust me. I used to respond to every single person talking shit. 100%. I didn't ever do what Joe Rogan or, you know, Brendan claims. I read the comments. I responded. I was I was looking to engage, bro. But you got to learn it's not even worth it. It gets to the point where it's like, oh, this motherfucker's so wrapped up in this thing that he's going to do whatever it takes to be right. Okay? Whatever, man. That's your thing. You were in debate class or debate club or whatever in school. Fine. Have a good time. But I'm not going to be the one to sit there and feed into your nonsense. I'm just going to delete it and move on. It's incredible the thoughts that these people have. Like, and the things people will defend. It's crazy. You're like, that's what you're all right, man. All right. That's the hill you're going to die on. All right. I mean, more power to you, man. But that shit ain't going to get you a girlfriend.
Scott Midgley, is the current studio garage set up a long-term plan for T-Fat-K, or do you envision having a separate space in the future?
Hey, man, that doesn't say envision. Now, I wondered if these guys were simply subscribing to Brendan's Patreon to troll him even more, and of course, I still believe this, but when you see a guy write this sentence, and that's how he thinks envision is spelled, you gotta wonder who the fans are. I've said this so many times. And yeah, the other guy also said that. It actually says right here, remember, you'll never meet a hater that's doing better than you. Okay, so maybe this Scott Midgley guy isn't a hater, but he's not doing better than anybody if that's how he thinks envision is spelled. What the fuck is that? That's not even a word. Envisage? What is this? What is this? I mean, I've never known too many Scots that were bright guys, okay? But envision, and also your phone has like spell check, autocorrect, and that's envision to you. Or you've typed it that way so many times in your phone that your phone has just started saying, yeah, this guy thinks this is fucking Envision. Just throw it in there. He's not going to correct himself. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same guy who's like, yeah, you said Ed Gein wrong. It's like, motherfucker, you don't know. I mean, again, echo chambers, dude. It's like, you know, it's actually like two guys just yelling the same shit at each other. Hey, you're dumb. And it's like, no, you're dumb. It's like, guys, you're both dumb.
In the future, we're figuring it out. Yeah, we didn't know the lay of the land out here, but I'll probably keep the garage. But we got some stuff in the works. Good question.
Good question, right? Hey, are you guys going to move out of that stank-ass garage? Put more money into the podcast that isn't doing well? Good question. You think somebody actually gives a shit, Brendan? You think anybody actually cares? That's the part that I find so funny. Somebody needs to zoom in on that watch that he's wearing. I bet it's not even on. And if it is, it's not on the correct time.
Question, Scott. Luis Rivera, hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Baseball question. Where do you think Kershaw lands all-time top?
All right, yeah, I'm done with this shit. I don't know why he thinks that this is a podcast. Where did you put this? I mean, is Unique subscribed to Brendan or the TFATK Patreon? I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? The levels that these trolls and these clip channels and what have you will go to embarrass somebody is incredible. They'll pay money to do it. It's insane. Either way, guys, I'm done with this shit. Like, subscribe, check out the Unique Entertainment channel, posting some interesting stuff. I'm still curious about what the situation with Podcast Cringe is. Either way, hit the like, subscribe. Until the next one.